ICE agents arresting protest leader Mahmoud Khalil. His attorney says the administration is moving to cancel his green card. Maya Sulkin is a Columbia graduate. She is a reporter and assistant editor for the Free Press, and it's so good to see you in person.
Thank you so
his
much
attorney says ICE's arrest and detention of Mahmoud follows the U.S. government's open repression of student activism and political speech, specifically targeting students at Columbia for criticism of Israel's assault on Gaza. Now, that's his attorney. How do you see it?
Thank you so much for having me. Listen, this is someone who has been the engine behind so much of the violence that we have seen on campus since October 7th. And so no one is telling Khalil and students like him that they cannot peacefully protest or even say things that we disagree with. But what is happening is violence, it is harassment, it is trespassing, it is causing thousands of dollars in property damage and sending public safety officers to the hospital. So we are not talking about free speech anymore, we are talking about crimes.
You graduated from Columbia, so you're very familiar with this. There is the head of the Columbia Jewish Alumni Association said every American citizen should be concerned when students are encouraging terrorist activities on U.S. soil. I agree. Was he encouraging terrorist activity? Or was he just protesting Israel?
I mean, listen, in Milbank Hall just a few days ago, and in Milstein Library, 3 days ago, he was handing out flyers from the Hamas media outlet, which is not an exaggeration, literally the Hamas logo on these flyers.
Wow.
I mean, these are people that call October 7th a glorious day. They are carrying Hamas flags. If that is not espousing terrorist activity, I really do not know it is.
I wanted to ask you about this because over the weekend, I think it was Friday, the Trump administration canceled $400 million in federal funds. Here's what John Fetterman, the senator from Pennsylvania, supporter of Israel, said. Columbia let anti-Semitism run amok to cater to lunatic fringe and paid provocateurs. Leadership allowed those a-holes to take over the campus and terrorize Jewish students. Now Columbia pays for its failure, and I support that. What did you hear about this? Was it a wake-up call for Columbia that maybe there's a monetary cost to what they're doing?
Listen, I mean, I think this is very much a follow-through on the threats they have gotten. I think it for sure came as a surprise, but like the senator said, I mean, the federal government has no obligation to pay American tax dollars to an institution that is violating the civil rights of its students, and that is what happened. And in fact, they have an obligation to not pay an institution that is violating the civil rights of its students.
Columbia's got a lot of money. It's got a huge endowment. If the government takes $400 million away from your former school, now being an alum, what's the impact on Columbia, Maya?
Honestly, this is, one, it's a message, and two, as you said, there's an enormous endowment. They have $5 billion in government funding. And so really this is about professors not being able to conduct the research they're able to conduct. It's about not attracting the top talent because the school will no longer be able to provide the kind of funding, the kind of benefits that universities with federal funding can provide.
Did you always want to go there?
I did.
Was it like a dream?
Yeah.
And so what do you think about it now?
I have enormous shame, to be completely honest. I mean,
shame.
Yeah, I mean, I fought really hard for the things that Jewish students are fighting for on campus for 4 years. I really empathize. I know people who have left campus for what they've had to face. And so I see this as a long, long overdue wake-up call for the administration.
Wow. Well, they've taken action, and we'll see what follows here. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Maya.
Thank you.